name is Kaylee, and today we're going to be learning about the ocean. More importantly, we're going to be learning how to take care of our oceans and some of the things that we do to our oceans. All right, so first off, you need to make your ocean. So I'm just using a little pie plate here, and I've got some water in it and a little bit of blue food coloring to make it really look like the ocean. And I've also got some little animals in here. So I've got a little turtle, a frog, and some other things. So make your ocean, all right? Once you have your ocean, think about it. What's in the ocean? There are all kinds of fish. There are all kinds of sea and marine mammals like dolphins. There's also lots of plants. There's coral and seaweed. Our oceans are beautiful and they make up over 2/3 of our planet. But there's a lot of things that happen to our ocean every day. For instance, straws. Straws that we use every day, they wind up in the ocean a lot. And bits of paper that sometimes don't get recycled, they end up in the ocean. Or maybe plastic bags that we use at the store. What about Q-tips, cotton swabs for your ears? Sometimes those end up in our oceans. More straws, sometimes the bits of pens, maybe a mechanical pencil. So there's all kinds of trash that winds up in our ocean, including plastic silverware that we use for takeout meals. So once we've got all of our garbage in our ocean, and you can find these things all over your home, any kind of bits and baubles that you have. It could be an old button from a pair of old jeans. It could be a pen that you no longer use. Just collect some stuff in your house that you kind of don't want anymore or kind of don't need, or even pick out a few things from the trash. Put them in your ocean and look at that. But plastic waste isn't the only bad thing that happens to our ocean. There's also a lot of accidents that happen regarding oil rigs on the ocean floor. An oil rig is kind of a big thing that drills down into the earth to pull up oil, petroleum, that we use for things like our cars and some stoves, various things like that. So today, we're gonna make a mini oil spill. Accidents happen all the time in the ocean. And sometimes when that oil gets into the water, not only does it hurt the animals, but it also hurts the ecosystem, the place where they live. And it makes it really hard for new life to grow and flourish. So today, we're gonna cause a mini oil spill using oil mixed with a little bit of cocoa powder. If you don't have any cocoa powder, try using a packet of hot chocolate. That's what I used. So we're gonna just pour some of our oil into the ocean and watch how it bubbles. Sometimes oil gets in our ocean because ships that are transporting the oil from one country to another have accidents in the ocean. Or sometimes those oil rigs that I mentioned earlier have accidents too. There's a lot of different ways that oil can end up in our oceans. And when they do, as you can see, it's not a pretty picture. So we've got our oil, and you'll kind of see that it's gonna be sitting in clumps on the top of your ocean. Looks easy to clean up, do you think? To simulate what it would be like for the oil to affect marine life, let's take some feathers, if you have some, and stick it in the ocean. Watch how the oil soaks up into the feathers with just barely a touch. All right. This is what my ocean looks like. What does yours look like? Is that what your ocean looks like? Yeah, mine too. So we've got a bit of a mess. Our beautiful, nice, flourishing ocean with all of its beautiful wildlife and ecosystems is pretty bad. What do we do about it? We're gonna try to clean it up. Okay, so I've got a bunch of trash and I've got a big oil spill. What can I do about it? Well, I've got a sponge. So maybe I can soak up some of the oil spill with my sponge. Let's give it a try. So I see some of the oil is coming up, but I'm also taking out a lot of water, and that's not very good. It's also not moving very far up the sponge, so looks like it's gonna take quite a few sponges to get the spill out. Maybe I should try something else. What about a spoon? I can try to skim the oil out. Let's try it. So I got a big thing of oil, but I also see a lot of ocean water with it. How would we do this really with our ocean? Because we don't have a giant spoon. And who would do it? Who's going to clean it up? How much time would that take? How much money? So I guess that our giant spoon isn't really all that practical. What about cotton balls? That'll absorb the oil. Oh, wow, that did a great job. But there's still a lot of oil and not a lot of cotton balls. So what do I do? And again, like with our spoon, there aren't a lot of real life giant cotton balls out there. But for now, I guess this is gonna have to do. So using my giant spoon and my giant cotton balls, I've managed to soak up most of the oil that's on the surface, but as you can see, my ocean is still pretty dark and the animals don't look so good. Let's try to take care of the animals. Oh dear, I can't even see them. I'm gonna use my spoon to move some of the trash around to see if I can find Mr. Frog. Oh, there he is. And oh dear, Mr. Frog doesn't look so good. Can you guys see him? He's very dark. Let's set him aside. But what about the ducks in the ocean too? The oil probably soaked up in their feathers pretty bad. And oop, there's that yellow feather from earlier. It's not so yellow now. Wow. So what can we do to help these animals? Why don't we try to clean them off? Why don't we brush them off with a paper towel? There you go, Mr. Frog. And you gotta be very gentle, because frogs are sensitive creatures. So I patted him off with a towel, and as you can see, some of the oil came off, but he's still looking pretty brown. So that didn't work. And what about Mr. Duck? We have to be very gentle with Mr. Duck's feather. So just gently kind of pat it into the paper towel. And look, you can see the oil through the paper towel. Well, that clearly worked some, but he's still looking pretty brown. That's a lot of oil. Well, maybe we should give them a bath. So using some of our leftover water from when we made our ocean, let's add a bit of soap. The one that I found works best is Dawn dish soap, but really any soap will probably do. So we're gonna add a little bit of soap, and I'm just gonna stir it up with my finger. And now I'm gonna use a paper towel to soak up some of the clean sudsy water, and we're gonna use it like a washcloth. And I'm just gonna wash off Mr. Frog. Oh wow, already I can see it starting to come off. Do you see lots of bubbles from your soap? Ah, Mr. Frog looks all better. Look at that. But now what about Mr. Duck? Well, we've got to be very careful with him. So gently brush down the feather, very gently. Do you see it coming off? Oh goodness, that's working so well. Look at how much more yellow it is already. Let's flip it over and do the other side. Look at how much more yellow it looks. It's still not perfect, but we know that this is working. So what now? We've cleaned off some of our animals, but there's still a lot of trash in our ocean, and there's still a lot of oil. How are we going to stop it? How are we going to protect and save our oceans so that we can enjoy the beaches and so that we can enjoy all the beautiful wildlife like the dolphins and the sharks? What can we do? What you can do is read up. There are a lot of great books about our oceans. This one, called The Mess We Made, is currently available in our library. There's also another great one called Oil Spill. Get with your parent and check out our catalog online to see what kind of amazing books you can read to learn about how to save our oceans. Because our oceans are beautiful and they're part of our planet, and we should do all that we can to help them. Man, this is a big mess. I've got to clean it up. I hope you enjoyed today's activity. Show a friend, teach them about our oceans, and have a great day.